In this video, I'll show you exactly how to get your sketches onto the computer and vectorized in Illustrator ready to make your patterns with. I'm Habs, I'm a surface pattern designer, and I'm here to show you the exact steps that you need to take. Okay, so your sketches are in your scanner and you're going to want to go to your settings, find your printer scanner, open it up. Oh, thank you. Open scanner. Okay, and then it's going to show me my sketches on here. Now, usually I would always do black and white because I mostly do fine liner, so it's going to pick it up. You want high contrast on with the paper and the pen so that it really picks it up well. You can use colour if you've done painting or drawing and you want to preserve those colours, or if you can do it in any colour when you're doing your sketches and then change the colour when you're working with it on Illustrator. But for me, and most of the time, I would always use black and white. Next, the resolution. For some reason, I don't know why, but 300 dpi seems to be the favourite, so that's what we do. On some scanners, if this page was full of stuff that you didn't really want but you just wanted one, you can select, so that's going to come up as a separate file. So I could do that. I had something here but I didn't actually end up using that, so I just need to make that a little bit wider. It's not going to let me. There we go. Okay, so now that's going to come up as two separate scans, or I could have just done the whole page and rubbed that bit out. Okay, now I'm going to scan. So while that is scanning, I'm going to leave that to do its thing. And then you want to open up Adobe Illustrator, get a new file, a new artboard up, and then I'm just going to wait for that to do its thing. And the first thing we have to do is go to File and Place. Or you can do Command-Shift-P. It shows you the shortcuts here, but not everyone's laptop will be on that. So just File and Place. So I've got my two images here. So I've selected them and then I press Place. So as you can see, it says 1 out of 2. So I'm going to put down the first one. So you can click or you can draw. So that time I just clicked. This time I can draw and it'll fill that box. Okay, so now I'm going to go. I'll start with this big one and make it a bit smaller so it's not across the artboard. And there we go. Now the first thing we want to do is you need to find image trace. For me, I've got it over here. Or let me think, or it's also up here for me. It might be up there for you. I don't know where else it will be. Aha, under object. So image trace you'd make. So I've got my image trace window over here. So preset. For me, I always use black and white logo. Sketched art and line art do seem to make sense when you've done your sketches or if you've just drawn lines, but the line art, it makes it all little tiny individual lines and it's a bit annoying really. So black and white logo seems to work the best for me for most things. So as you can see, it's just black and white now, so there's no shadows from the paper. Yeah, so we've done that. And then threshold, this is the next thing that you need to play around with. So this is how much gets picked up by Illustrator. So if I put the threshold really high, that's way too dark, so it's picked up too much. So we take it down and you can see it's picked up lots of little extra bits here that I don't really need. It's a little bit too grainy. Some people might want it grainy, but for me, I would take it down, and I'll show you. If we take it right down, you can't actually see it. So we'll bring it up. See, there's bits missing. We need some more. So this is going to be different every time you scan something in. So yeah, it just sort of depends what sort of level you want. So I'm going to say that's good. I think all the lines are there. Maybe let's do a little bit more. Let's go to like 180. Okay, we're going to leave that there. And then I'm going to go to advance. Now, paths is another thing you can play with. So if you have high paths, that it's so subtle, like you might be looking like, what? So paths is going to pick up all this stuff here. But if I put paths down, then did you see how that bit smoothed out a bit then? So I put it right down. So it just sort of, it's really on preference here what you want. If you want it smoother, then you would have low paths. I usually sit at about 60 because I do like it to look organic, you know, the hand drawn. Some people like it really high. But also if you have really high paths, then it's going to make the file a lot heavier because this info here, that's like 3,844 anchor points. So if we take it up to like 95, which I know some people like to use, that's gone up to 8,200. So that's a big jump. So I'm going to bring it down a bit. Let's try 70. Yeah, that's fine with me. And then you might also want to play with the noise. Okay, I can't really see much difference there, but in more detailed drawings, you would notice that. So the noise, you can take that down a bit. And then the next important thing is to click ignore color. It might say ignore white on yours, depending what version you're using. But what this does is it makes it so that the only thing we're working with now is this black line. So this is see-through, you know, it's nothing there. So then we have to press expand. And now you can see all these little anchor points. And so that is how, so I could just erase them, that's fine. But what these anchor points do, if I'm just going to go on this white one. So I just select this. This is how you, okay, double click, and then you can change all these things. But I don't want to do that. But if there was something on your drawing where you're like, I just wish that this corner was like maybe a bit thicker, something like that, that's how you would change it with all these anchor points and using the direct select tool, which is the white arrow. I'm going to go back to the black arrow, or I could also have just pressed V. So you can see I've got these little extra bits here that I don't need, so I'm going to erase them. So I can either click the eraser here, or I can shift E and just rub these out, and then that's fine. So that is the first one done. We'll leave that over there. And then we've got this one. Okay, so we're going to image trace this again. So I'm going to go back to black and white logo. No, it's gone black and white. I'm going to zoom in so we can see a bit better. And I'll take the threshold up a little bit. Okay, and then paths. What did I do for the last one? I think I went to 70. Let's see what it's like. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's fine. I generally just take the noise down. And then I'm going to ignore color. So it takes all that middle bit away and then expand. Now, the reason why you might want to, what I could have done at the scanning phase was select all of these individually, because now all it means is that these are together. So I have to ungroup these. So I would go Command Shift G. And that is hopefully gonna, okay, so that's ungrouped that, so we don't need that line, so I'm gonna delete that. And then we'll select this again and we'll Command Shift G to ungroup, hopefully. Yeah, so we've got this guy on his own. These two are still connected, so Command Shift G again, click off it, come back to it. And there we go. So this is actually vectorized now. So in my other video, I use these leaves. Now I can, you know, change the color of this. So now it's blue. I can press Shift M to get image trace up, and I can fill this with some color. So yeah, that's when you can, this is where the fun starts. This is where you can start playing with it. And what was I going to show you? Oh yeah, so this is the image trace, and this is what I used in my previous video. And I showed you how this one was a bit thicker, and how to use the shape builder tool. Sorry, I forgot its name again. To which I was meant to say here as well. I was using shape builder fill for this, by the way. If I said image trace, then I was wrong. So on here, I press Shift M, and let's say I want to make it green, and I drag through, and now I've got my solid one. So that is how you vectorize your drawings from paper to the computer, ready to play with and make your patterns. So I really hope that this was helpful. Let me know what other videos you would like me to make. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and share. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought. And yeah, I'll be back soon with more videos. Bye everyone.